Christians are very good at doing good. There's no doubt about it. But doing good alone is not enough to accomplish our mission. Unlike in the early days of the church, when good deeds with no strings attached were unheard of in a society based on the patronage system, today doing good is not distinctively Christian. Lots of people do good deeds besides Christians. Doing good is just what caring people do. The early church grew and changed society because of three core activities. Doing good was one. The other two were evangelism and community building. Let's look at each for some inspiration for the church today. When the early church did good deeds, when necessary, they did costly good deeds. For example, their good deeds included advocating for social change, and so they modeled how to make the change. They ended infanticide by bringing attention to it as they rescued unwanted babies who had been tossed into the rivers to die. And then they adopted them and raised them as their own children. Now that's costly. It's a lot more than just donating to a cause. They did good deeds which changed their lives forever. And so we can demonstrate our commitment to good through personal sacrifice. If we campaign against child labor and slavery, let's go beyond the partial solution of words and donations and stop buying products which are made by children and slaves. Let's back up our anti-poverty efforts by critiquing the social systems and structures which create conditions of poverty in the first place. Now this may sound radical to some, but do we believe that God made a world with enough for everyone to live a decent life, or don't we? If people are living in poverty in God's world, something is broken and the church needs to act. The early church was also very active in evangelism. But what attracted people to Christian faith wasn't so much the afterlife, it was the effect of Christian faith on life in the here and now. Salvation makes us right with God, but it also enables us to live God's way right here, right now. It helps us fulfill the petition Jesus taught us to pray to God that thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Our faith offers a better vision of society than what currently exists, and we need to include this vision when presenting the gospel. The early church was powerfully effective at evangelism because individual believers had had powerful encounters with God and knew with absolute conviction what God can do to change lives because he had changed theirs. Help other believers learn the spiritual practices which will help them experience more of Christ's life-transforming power, and they will be passionate about sharing their faith. Finally, the church built an alternative community. They cared for their own. They enjoyed redeemed relationships. The church community had strong, vital relationships with each other. Our society is increasingly fragmented and isolated. Churches can offer life in meaningful, close association with other people. Let's make sure they find what they are looking for when they visit our churches. So we need to do good and do it sacrificially. We must evangelize, but be sure to talk about both life in heaven and on earth. And we must ensure our church communities are truly caring communities. God bless.